5 rules will change your life, my friends. Life does not hand you a manual. It hands you experience, chaos, and silence, and then expects you to extract meaning. The laws I am about to share are not laws written by governments or carved in stone. They are subtle truths, discovered, whispered, and tested in the theater of human existence. If you understand them not as mere slogans, but as living principles, they can shift the entire trajectory of your life. 1. Murphy's Law. The more you fear something, the more likely it is to occur. There is a strange irony woven into the fabric of existence. The things we dread most often have a peculiar way of showing up at our doorstep. This is Murphy's Law, not simply that anything that can go wrong will, but more profoundly, the more your mind fixates on fear, the more it bends reality to create it. You see, fear is a kind of prayer in reverse. When you fear something, you are constantly rehearsing it in your imagination. You live it before it arrives, and by doing so, you program your body, your choices, and even your environment to conspire toward its arrival. A person afraid of failing in business behaves timidly, second, guesses themselves, and withdraws at the moment decisive action is required, thus ensuring failure. But Murphy's Law is not merely a curse. It is also a teacher. It whispers, look where you are pouring your energy, look at the monsters you feed with your imagination. For what you fear, you invite, and what you love, you magnetize. The wealthy, the wise, the ones who build empires, they are not fearless because they were born brave, but because they learned to stop bowing before imaginary catastrophes. They trained their minds to focus on opportunity rather than ruin. So remember this, fear does not prevent danger, it attracts it. Shift your focus, use your imagination not as a factory of horrors, but as a cathedral of possibility. Murphy's Law then becomes not your tormentor, but your compass, pointing you toward where your inner work is most required. 2. Kidlin's Law. If you write a problem down clearly, you've solved half of it. Life is not a storm of problems, but a storm of vagueness. Most people are not crushed by the weight of difficulty, but by the fog that surrounds it. That is why Kidlin's Law is so profoundly simple. If you write a problem down, clearly, precisely, in black and white, you have already solved half of it. When you take pen to paper, something remarkable happens. The chaos of your thoughts crystallizes into form. What was once a monster in the mist becomes a puzzle on the table. A billionaire does not think vaguely about opportunity. They map it, chart it, reduce it to numbers, models, and timelines. They drag the abstract into the concrete. Think of a debt, for example. If you only carry the idea in your head, it grows into a shadow of despair. But when you sit down, list every dollar, every expense, every income stream, suddenly the impossible becomes measurable. And what is measurable is conquerable. Kidlin's Law is not about paper, it is about clarity. Writing forces honesty. It makes you specify what the problem truly is. And very often, when you define the problem clearly, you discover the solution was staring at you all along. So, when life seems impossible, don't just think, write. Don't just worry, define. The mind can deceive, but the page never lies. 3. Gilbert's Law. Achieving the desired result is always your responsibility. The world today is full of excuses. People blame governments, parents, economies, even the weather for why they are not living the life they want. But Gilbert's Law cuts through the noise. When you take on a task, finding the best way to achieve the result is always your responsibility. Always, this is the essence of ownership. The billionaire mindset is not, I will try until it gets hard. It is, I will try until it is done. Success does not care who hurt you, who failed you, or who abandoned you. The result is your responsibility because the universe responds not to excuses, but to execution. This is not cruelty, it is empowerment. For if the result is yours, then so too is the power. To wait for someone else to pave the way is to surrender your life to their choices. To accept full responsibility is to step into the role of creator. Now, does this mean you must know everything? No. But it means you are responsible for seeking the knowledge, the mentors, the experiments, the failures that lead to success. Every great innovator, Tesla, Musk, Jobs, Rockefeller, understood this. Responsibility is the birthplace of genius. So, the next time you face a task, don't ask, "Who will help me?" Ask, "How will I own this?" And in that ownership, you will discover the very power most people spend their lives avoiding. For Wilson's Law: if you prioritize knowledge and intelligence, money will follow. The world is upside down. Most people chase money first and knowledge later, if ever, but Wilson's Law tells us if you prioritize knowledge and intelligence, money will follow. Why? Because money is a shadow. It is not the thing itself. It is the consequence of value. And value is always born from knowledge. A man who knows how to solve problems, who has cultivated intelligence, cannot be poor for long. But a man who chases only money without wisdom is like someone collecting leaves while ignoring the roots. The billionaire mindset is rooted in this law. Think of Warren Buffett, who reads 6 hours a day, or Elon Musk, who devours entire textbooks before attempting an industry. They do not chase money directly, they chase understanding. And because they understand deeply, wealth flows as a natural byproduct. So ask yourself, what do I know that others do not? How deeply have I studied my craft? How rigorously have I sharpened my mind? For the mind is the ultimate asset. Fortunes rise and fall. Economies collapse, but a cultivated intelligence is a treasure no thief can steal, no market can erase. Prioritize wisdom and money will bow to you. Chase money without wisdom, and you will forever be its servant. -5. Falkland's Law: if you don't have to make a decision, don't decide. In our age of noise, everyone feels compelled to act, to choose, to respond instantly. But Falkland's Law whispers a secret: if you don't have to make a decision, don't decide. This is not laziness, it is wisdom. Most errors in life are not born of inaction, but of premature action. Impulsive choices, hasty commitments, emotional reactions, these are the traps that cost people their fortunes, their peace, and their time. A billionaire does not rush. They wait, they observe, they let unnecessary options fall away. They know that patience is not delay, it is strategy. Look at nature. A fruit does not ripen by force. It ripens by time, and so do decisions. If you do not need to decide now, you allow the decision to mature in the soil of experience. By the time you act with clarity, not desperation. The world pressures you to be quick, to choose fast, to prove yourself. But true mastery often looks like stillness. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to invest in every trend. You don't need to respond to every opinion. Wisdom is knowing when not to decide. So, Falkland's Law teaches us the power of restraint. Do not mistake motion for progress. The richest lives are not built by saying yes to everything, but by reserving your yes for the things that matter. These 5 laws, Murphy, Kidlin, Gilbert, Wilson, Falkland, are not mere intellectual curiosities. They are principles for living, breathing guides to transform fear into clarity, excuses into responsibility, knowledge into wealth, and haste into wisdom. If you embrace them, not as quotes to memorize, but as disciplines to embody, you will find that life bends differently around you. You will begin to live not reactively, but deliberately. And that, my friends, is the difference between drifting through existence and creating a life worth remembering.